Well, hello, my loves, and happy Sunday to you. So today is my day to redo a painting. I've challenged myself to do a couple of things each month with you that's maybe not my traditional Sunday inspiration, but something that helps me stay accountable and do some of the things that I want to do. And so far, you guys have thought it was interesting. So today I'm redoing another painting. I haven't done anything yet because I don't know exactly where I'm going. And that's the whole point. I want you to kind of see the process of what I'm thinking. And I also, one of the things too is that the last painting that I redid, there's a couple comments like, oh, I really liked it the way that it was versus the way that I remade it, which is perfectly fine. But one of the things is that I want us to realize as artists that our styles change, our ideas change, our techniques change, our confidence level and our abilities change. And so when we look at an older piece of art, it may no longer inspire us or make us happy. And that's really where I create from, is what makes me happy and what tells my story and that kind of thing. And so some of the pieces that I'm redoing, while they're perfectly fine, they're just not where I'm at artistically right now. So I hope that gives you permission to maybe look at your work, whatever that is, even a journal page, and say, how could I do it differently now in this season with this ability, with the things that I've already learned, or the things that I've learned in the last month or the last year. My style's definitely changed. Some things have always remained the same, and that helps us discover our voice and our style as we create. So, thinking about those things, let's take a look at what I'm going to remake. So here's the piece that I have, and it is a 12 by 16 gallery depth canvas. And this piece is actually really pretty. You can see this is the original, except it just feels too perfect for one. And the butterflies feel too unrealistic. Now, I know that sounds weird, but they don't feel like me. And this project was an experiment of using stencils in a different way. I think I started with them as black to give me that kind of dark base undertone. But I would like to take this and mess it up a bit so that it's not quite so perfect. And the butterflies I want to try and eliminate. I want to bring some butterflies in, but I want to do them in my vintage papers. And so I was thinking this is kind of how I start the process. I'm like, okay, well, if I got rid of that, how would that look? And I put a flower there instead. Or I put more flowers over here. And then I realized that the flowers are really all kind of the same. I mean, this one's a little bit different, but and there's 4 of them, which I don't typically do. And maybe that's why I feel like, I don't know. These feel like they're not attached to the whole thing. This actually looks good. I like this section in here because there's a lot of paper showing in the background, which I love. So I want to try and keep that and yet add to it and add more flowers in these directions in different colors. And so I brought a blue butterfly out and I thought, ooh, blues would be great in here, and maybe not as a butterfly, but as a flower. And so I started bringing some things out to see if I brought, this kind of over this, and then maybe some other flowers in here and some smaller ones, like little wildflowers and different things like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking, just to kind of mess this up. And what I find really interesting is that this says season of growing. And we're always in a season of growing as artists and as human beings, in my opinion. And so I thought, I'm going to try and leave that. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, because once I get going, things could completely change. But I definitely think that I'm going to bring in like a butterfly like this, something like that. I just grabbed what I had and started cutting things out just so I could kind of get an idea. And I also took like this butterfly here. I think I want to replace it kind of like with a butterfly like that. And I think I can do that fairly easily without disturbing some of this background. Now I think I want to add to some of this background because it's really pink. I've got my magenta in there, but with the gesso that I know that I put into some of that, it's really pink. So I think I'm going to do that with some watercolor because that's going to be transparent enough to really allow the funness of this background to stay what it is. And then I'll definitely be using acrylic. So I know I'll be using olive green and green gold, unbleached titanium, of course gesso for my white. And then I want to bring in some cobalt blue, and I probably will dirty it up a little bit with some raw umber. And then I have some prism violet out here that I want to kind of bring in. And I think that'll help make it feel a little bit more interesting. There is a lot going on here, but it just doesn't feel like me any longer. And so I will probably bring in another butterfly, maybe. I don't know for sure yet how that will happen. But I'm thinking about that. I've got a whole sheet of butterflies out here that I can introduce. And I also have, I have this kind of script on tissue paper that I thought would be kind of cool somewhere in here, just as another little bit to kind of go over some of this. Not sure about that. I brought this out because I thought, ooh, that might be kind of fun to put in the background, but I want to kind of tone down the playfulness of it. I know that sounds really weird, but I want it to feel a little bit more abstract. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. And I'm not sure how that's going to look with the butterflies and that kind of thing. So I kind of have to, there's a lot to work through, and there'll be a process to getting to that. I like the color of the flowers, and I really kind of like the shape of some of these. I may add a little bit to them, and then of course add some other kind of free-flowing, freer flowers, maybe more to the forefront, and these get pushed back to the back. I want to try and integrate these, and I think I'm probably going to do that with some watercolor leaves and things like that. And then of course I will be using soft pastels and charcoal pencil and that kind of thing for some of the bottom pieces down here, I think. All of this is, I think. I thought about acrylics, but I want to keep the background. I love the background. The papers are just fantastic. All of them. There's this little postage stamp right here that I absolutely love, and all these little tiny bits that I love. So the goal, the challenge for me will be to keep this part simple and still add interest in here without taking away too much. So I think I'll probably use these as kind of a base for my floral, just because it'll help cover up that butterfly more. And I might even use this one too, because it's that purple and it'll give me some shape. And other than that, I really want to try and let it be a little bit more free. And I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. I'll use Liquitex Gesso Black and White, and then I'll use my Liquitex Fluid Matte Medium to put any additional papers down that I decide to add. And then that is it, I think. I don't know what colors I'm going to be adding up here. Probably more of a sienna color than anything else, to just kind of stay with that butterfly. Really bothers me right there. So I think that with this color, kind of sienna color, I think I can bring some of that in, and it's already got some of that in the background. Okay, I think that is where I'm headed. So we'll see what happens. And like I said the last time, it was 2 weeks ago, where I redid a painting. Whether it's great or not, there's always a learning process. There's always something that I will get. And if I don't like this, I'll just remake it again. And sometimes those remakes over and over get to the root of where I want to go. And it just takes some time, some trial and error. And that's what I think is the most important thing for me in this season, is that I am willing to mess things up to get to the place that I want to be. And that everything does not have to be a perfect piece. This is a process, just like life. And I want to be open to that, even if it means that I don't have a masterpiece sitting in front of me. So that is my journey today with you, my loves. I hope that your Sunday is restful and peaceful. I hope you have some amazing creative time this week, that this may inspire you to take a look at something differently and maybe remake something of your own. And I hope that your Sunday is restful and peaceful, and that you always, always know that you are loved.